Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Sharonika Dawson, and I would like to take a few moments of your time to present to you my final creators project for this course. Throughout my artwork, I will be expressing the characteristics in which I share with the creators that I chose to focus on throughout the first 6 weeks of this course. The artwork in which I chose to create was photography, and I created a collage. So I'm gonna go on and to week one. During week one, I learned about the life and accomplishments of Pamela Travers. Pamela Travers was a very mysterious and prickly author known for the creation of Mary Poppins. In her personal life, she was notably private. Just as Travers, I share the same characteristics of privacy. And throughout my life, I've always been a quiet and private individual. My personal life is totally off limits to the public. And I depict the characteristic of privacy in this photo. As you can see, is this young girl, and she's reading or writing in her diary. And you have this little girl who's like she's trying to snoop over her shoulders and look and read her private information. As you see, the young girl holds back her arm as she's saying off limits and hovering over her pad to keep her from looking in. So that's how I depicted privacy within this photo. Moving on to week two. In week two, I learned about Anne Dillard. She was an American author, famous for narrative proses in both fiction and nonfiction. And in her life, she loved to read a wide range of books. She felt that it allowed her to interact with the present time as well as a means to escape. Just as Dillard, we both share a passion for reading, poetry, and writing. And in relation to her, I too use reading and writing as a means of relaxation and a means to escape from life's twists and turns. And I depicted that characteristic in this photo. As you see, you have this young boy. He's propped up on the couch with his pillows, and he's reading a book. He's cast all the cares. He's not concerned about what's going on in his surrounding, and he's focused on his reading. He's like in a relaxed mode. And this is pretty much me after a long day at work. Just plop down on the sofa and read a book and just escape. During week three, I learned about Carl G. Jung, who was a journalist, a psychologist, an inventor, and a psychiatrist. Jung was a very quiet and lonely child. As a result of his isolation, he spent hours observing adult roles, which greatly shaped his career. Like Carl, I was a quiet child too, but only lonely by choice. I was not an only child, but I was pretty much still a loner because I often preferred being by myself. And during those alone times, I would read, write, and think, and just collect my thoughts. And I portrayed that characteristic of being a loner and being to myself in this photo. As you see, this little girl, she's escaped to her own private space just to get by herself to read. And in this picture, she's under the table. And this is pretty much me when I was younger, and as well as in my adult life. I like to have my alone time in my personal space and just reading my books and writing. In week four, I learned about the life of the profound Maya Angelou. She was an author, civil rights activist, actress, songwriter, dancer, and poet. Pretty much a jack of all trades. And since a child, Maya Angelou has always been my all-time favorite poet and writer. I fell in love with her creativity and was inspired through her words to write my own poetry. Even though I didn't experience the traumatic childhood as Angelou, but there have been many situations in my life that have occurred in which at the time I chose not to speak on because I felt that others wouldn't approve of. But throughout the course of my life, I have learned that not everyone will like or agree with you on everything, but what you feel or have to say just might touch someone else. Most importantly, Angela and I shared the same mission in life. And that mission is not to only survive, but to thrive. As for me, I do not fear change, yet I embrace it. And I try to make the best out of every situation. Me and my personal life, I easily adapt to change. And I portrayed that characteristic of adapting to change and embracing everything in this photo, where you see these two kids, and you see the two in the foreground, they're hugging onto a tree. And the young one, she's fascinated with the leaves falling. I chose this scenery because, you know, as with trees and leaves and change of seasoning, I use that to depict how I embrace change. Moving on to week 5. During week 5, I learned about Stravinsky. He was a famous composer known for his many creations of masterpieces such as The Nightingale. And just like Stravinsky, I shared his desire to explore and learn about literature. I've always taken a great interest in reading all literature altogether, and my taste in literature is widespread because I find pleasure in all forms of literary text. I found that reading a variety of different texts broadens my horizon and it introduces me to new discoveries. And I depicted my desire to explore literature in this photo. And as you see in this photo, I am in a library surrounded by different books. And I have books in my hands. Like I'm in deep thought trying to figure out which one I want to get. Because of my love for reading, it's sometimes a hard decision. But moving on to the final week, week 6, I learned about Ursula Le Guin. She was a writer who encountered many rejections from publishers, but soon turned to science fiction and fantasy where she found acceptance. Le Guin has a very compelling sense of herself as a spiritual being who is a searcher and a seeker of truth. And just like Ursula Le Guin, I am a very analytical thinker. Le Guin was devoted to investigations into the unknown and finding answers to the mysteries of life. And throughout my life, I've always been told that I overthink everything. I have to analyze everything down to the smallest detail when making decisions and solving problems. I depicted my characteristic of being analytical in this photo. And in this photo, you see this young boy. He's working out a problem. And he's deep in thought with trying to figure out why they got this answer, why they came to this solution. And he's breaking down every part of the problem to get to that answer, to basically understand it. You can't see it, but also you can see in the picture where on this paper he has a lot of question marks. As he's saying, he has questions about everything. He's questioning every part of that problem, why he did this in every step. So that's how I depicted analytical and analyzing things down to the final detail. Okay, that wraps it up with my project on creators. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I look forward to viewing you guys creator projects. And that's it. Bye.